Hello, hello. From my revamped New York set, I've got a new review for you, and this one is for Kenneth Branagh's Death on the Nile. Of course, this is his next Agatha Christie adaptation after 2017's Murder on the Orient Express. In addition to directing, Branagh returns to play Hercule Poirot. This time around, he's on vacation and winds up getting caught up in a murder mystery that's unfolding on a river steamer traveling the Nile. I found that Death on the Nile delivered exactly what it promised, a star-studded ensemble in an opulent setting where a murder happens and everyone involved is a suspect. As always, you guys know, I do find it important to note my understanding of the source material a movie is based on, and in this particular case, I am not very well read on Agatha Christie novels, so I walked into my screening of Death on the Nile a completely clean slate, or, at least minus having certain expectations after seeing Branagh's Murder on the Orient Express movie. But you know what? I actually think Death on the Nile is the better film of the two. It clocks in at just over 2 hours long, and I did feel the length a little bit. Well, I did really appreciate the time Branagh took to let the viewer soak in the atmosphere and really get to know the main players involved. There are, a few lulls here and there, and I'd say they happen most just before the murder takes place when you're in that getting to know you phase. But to be fair, it really is all necessary information that he's conveying there, and ultimately knowing those details do make the mystery far more engaging when things get more intense. And that's another thing that really did impress me about this new film. With Murder on the Orient Express, I very much enjoyed watching Poirot solve the crime, but I didn't feel like I was playing along as much as I would have liked to. With this one, however, I felt different about that, and I suspect it really had a lot to do with the understanding that I had of everyone's potential motivation, where they fit in the group, and also just knowing enough about their personalities and their personal priorities. And then you also factor in that we've got a really impressive ensemble here that very successfully takes what's on the page and breathes even more life into it when bringing it to screen. Running through some cast standouts right now. If you are here, you probably know that I'm a very big fan of the show Sex Education, and probably goes without saying now, but I really enjoyed watching Emma Mackey shine alongside some of the biggest stars in this industry, and also in a pretty significant production. She's just effervescent in her role. She's got that seemingly effortless screen presence that makes her pop so big, even alongside heavyweights like Branagh himself and Gal Gadot. I also couldn't believe that was Russell Brand playing a very grounded and low-key doctor in this. He's close to unrecognizable in the role and also manages to accomplish quite a bit with a character like that. He is the kind of guy who is a wallflower, and he needs to come across as unassuming, but he also has to catch your eye just enough to raise some suspicion, and Brand does it. And then there's Sophie Okonedo, who I love in everything, and here she basically threatens to steal the spotlight every single time she's on screen. I just loved the energy she brought to her role. The character is a successful jazz singer, and Okonedo just finds this really alluring mixture of confidence and a no-nonsense type of attitude, but also just enough sensitivity. It's a combination of qualities that made me totally enamored with her, but also very invested in her and the outcome of the situation. And then, of course, there's Branagh's work as Poirot. I did really like him in Murder on the Orient Express in the role, but I actually think I prefer his story and his performance in this one because of the vulnerabilities that it highlights in the character. The addition of certain details from Poirot's past made him as a person more three-dimensional to me, and then on top of that, I also found that information enhancing my experience while I was following him as he tries to solve this mystery. It just made it more engaging, and it made me feel and get caught up in Poirot's own determination to solve the case, more so than it did with Murder on the Orient Express. And also it made Poirot's work mean more to me, and I don't necessarily mean it makes his work as a detective more impressive or anything like that, but rather having a better understanding of how he wound up in this position gave his work more weight and heart. But also, in general, it really did feel like almost every single member of this main ensemble had something to lose, and it really strengthened the experience to be both rooting for many of them, but also be suspicious of them. All right, let's score this one. I am giving Death on the Nile 3.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimal Movie scale. If you are looking for a lavish murder mystery with a star-studded ensemble, Death on the Nile delivers. In addition to the aforementioned lulls, there are a few questionable beats in the mystery here and there. And, after one viewing at least, some of them did make me wonder, would someone really do that? Or, maybe that wasn't the brightest decision, but it's never really anything that took me out of the movie. What did take me out of the movie, though, is something that seems to be happening a lot lately. It's these shots of actors filmed in green screen environments. They're just so noticeable to me. And, while I was watching the movie, I got a little worried. Is this becoming a me thing? Have I just gotten so obsessed with it that I can't stop thinking about it? But walking out of the movie, a friend pointed out the same thing. So, it at least put my mind at ease that it's not something that's being overemphasized by an obsession that I've developed. But even then, Death on the Nile delivers what it promises. It does so, I think, pretty well, and I think it does it with more depth and heart than Murder on the Orient Express did. And again, I did enjoy that film enough, but I think there are a number of very noticeable improvements with this one that I really appreciated. I can't say I am dying to rewatch Death on the Nile over and over again. I'm not that enthusiastic, but if Branagh does get the opportunity to play Poirot again in another film, I will certainly look forward to it. All right, that is it. That is a wrap on this Death on the Nile review. Before I let you go, Patreon shout-out time. Here is a lovely group of 6 for you. They are Donovan, Justin, Steven, Seth, Caleb, and Javier. Familiar names out there because these are 6 lovely members of the Patreon Slack community. You guys know how much I enjoy chatting with you and how highly I think of you. So thank you so much just for being you and for being part of this community that we've built. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody out there too. Just make sure to like and share the review before you leave it, and stay tuned. I got more reviews on the way very, very soon.